We are here with Mike Perry, owner of Timeless Cuts in Poulsbo, Washington. Mike is seriously one of the best barbers you're going to find. I would love to share with you guys what Mike did to get to where he is today.
This might be a little bit difficult for me to talk about at times, but it's okay.
We love the personal side of this. I know your journey is very, very personal for you.
Very. I didn't always set out to become a barber. It was not my original path in life. I wasn't the worst kid in the world, but I wasn't always the best kid in the world. I joined the Marine Corps at 19, and
that's amazing. First of all, thank you for that.
Well, thank you. The Marine Corps gave me my foundation. Some ups and downs, but I had a really great experience, and I take a lot of things still to this day that I learned from the Marine Corps with my work ethic, my pride in everything that I do, being respectful, just being a consummate professional. Again, barbering wasn't my original path. I went into law enforcement. I grew up in the Folsom area of California, and there was a lot of prison guards, a lot of my friends.
Johnny Cash country?
Johnny Cash, he's up on the wall over there. I spent 15 years in corrections, working as a correctional officer, a sergeant, made it all the way up to the rank of lieutenant. I spent 15 years in a career that I absolutely hated. And there was good days, but for the most part, I really hated what I did. It took a really huge toll on my mental health. I met my wife in prison.
Let's be clear here, guys. She wasn't in prison, or was she?
Well, she was, but she was like me. She got to go there for 8 hours a day, and then she got to go home at the end of the day. She was a nursing assistant, and I was a supervisor. We decided at a certain point that I was done with working for the Department of Corrections in California. None of this has to do with barbering, and
that's okay. Most of our journeys are not a straight line.
It's not. That's for sure. Mine's all over the place. We moved to Oregon. I became a deputy sheriff because although I was afraid to continue what I was doing in my career in California, I was more afraid to venture on to something different because the unknown is super freaking scary. We had uprooted everything, moved to Oregon. I finally had enough with law enforcement. There's no job out there that is worth your mental health. And I had to make a choice, choose life and do something different, or I was going to end up losing probably everything that I had worked for. My wife, who's my biggest supporter, she was the one who actually suggested barbering.
Now you're already in the Northwest. You're in the Pacific Northwest, being in Oregon.
Correct.
And now you've made a huge decision to change, again, all the familiar things you've known.
Right.
So how did you end up here? How did you get to Poulsbo?
So we went back to California. We formed a plan. We have a daughter, and she was 2.5 at the time. We made a game plan. We didn't just do it willy-nilly, and I picked a school. I went to Paul Mitchell for my barber education in Sacramento. I started cutting hair in 1996 when I was in the Marine Corps.
This is so awesome. I love that part of your story.
It's literally, I have been a barber since 1996. But I wasn't a professional barber, and I wasn't a good one. And there were plenty of Marines who got really, really bad haircuts by me. But in time, with practice, I got better. I've always been artistic. I wrote poetry. I draw pictures. Nothing that I was doing in my careers had anything to do with any of that. There was no creativity or very little. So when my wife made that suggestion, it was kind of like gave me that nudge, and it felt like, okay, I can do this. And very quickly, I found that this is something I wanted to do. I was good at it, and I enjoyed it. And anyone can learn how to cut hair. Not everybody has the personality. And they said that I had the personality for it.
I mean, you've come up here, you visited a lot, you fell in love with it. I mean, there's so much to love about living in the Pacific Northwest. But you started to really find yourself up here in the Kitsap Peninsula.
We were in California. The pandemic occurred. We were barbers, cosmetologists, estheticians. We were all the boogeyman. We were all shut down. We just felt like the universe was pushing us away from California. I knew that I was supposed to be a barber. Our original plan wasn't to live here initially.
Really?
Our initial plan was we were going to come up here, buy an RV. Apparently, everybody else had that idea before us, so there was no RVs to be had.
Pandemic, you either buy an RV or you start making sourdough bread, right?
Exactly, and we didn't do either, so we had to figure something else out. I worked at a small barber shop, a local cosmetologist. She graciously let me move into her salon for a few months until we landed here. This is a dream come true. Something specifically led me and my family to this area, and this shop was supposed to be our shop, our family shop. I had already built somewhat of a good reputation in the community as a new local barber that did a good job. A week and a half of my brother and I in here grinding, wife and daughter coming in, helping out. It was truly a family affair. And in a week and a half, I turned the barber pole on, and next thing you know, I'm cutting hair in here.
Open sign was on. You're ready to go. Did you already have a book of business at that point because you've been working with people who had trusted you and knew that you could take care of them?
I did, but when I had to abruptly leave the other shop, and I won't speak to that, I kind of had to do something.
What drives you every day to come in here and do the level of work that you do for our community?
This is where I'm supposed to be. I feel like I was given a second chance at life. I didn't want to screw this up. I've got a wife and a daughter at home who I love, and I want to support and provide the best level that I can give to them. But I'm in this world for me too. And I've got to live my life. It's not just for Stephanie or for Eleanor. It's also, Mike's got to have a good life. This place, I don't know, it's something magical. When I come in here, I don't come to work. I come to my second home. I don't hang out with clients. I hang out with my friends. They're extended family. Every single client deserves the best from me. And that's what I try and give them. That's what I do every single day.
One thing I love is that when I'm out in the community and I mention Mike Perry, people are like, oh, Mike, we love Mike.
Being a barber, it's not just cutting hair. It's not simply, dude sits down, hey, Mike, give me a number one on the sides and, finger length on top. It's the first haircut that you're doing for a little boy that's coming in with their mom and dad. You have a client that sits in their chair and they tell you that their mom or their sister or somebody is going through chemotherapy and they're losing their hair, and you end up taking care of them. I'm bald, so I choose this every few days to shave it. Like, I'm going to walk somebody through a journey in their life that they don't really want to be in, and it's a privilege. It's an honor to be that barber, to be that person, that human that's there for them. If you think about, all right, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to cut hair, I'm going to try and do a good job and earn a living. It is so much more than that. I am actually connected to my people. There is a human connection here. Being a barber, for me at least, I don't take it for granted. It's an honorable profession. It's a cool old trade. I try and bring a mixture of the old school and the new school.
What you do here for people encapsulates exactly who you are. You chose Poulsbo specifically. What is something about Poulsbo that really draws you and your family in?
Poulsbo, hands down, this area, North Kitsap and the Poulsbo community in this area is so special. I feel like I've lived here my whole life. I've been here.
I love that.
I've been called the unofficial mayor. Sorry, Becky.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
I don't know that I would do a good job, but I admire, I respect the fact that people think well enough of me to think like that. This community it's a family. I've never lived in a place where I felt more welcome.
You certainly are family in this community. Right here along Front Street in Poulsbo, it is so great to have your amazing business. You started something in Poulsbo that is really special. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did last year, Mike?
I will absolutely take very little credit. I didn't do it on my own. I asked a question. I wanted to know why a community that has all these naval bases around here, all these active duty military members, why didn't Poulsbo have a Veterans Day parade? I asked the question. I got an answer. And the answer was, I don't know. We brought this to the city. I reached out to a few community members, and before you know it, we had a committee of local active duty, military, veterans, local business owners, and we put together last year the first annual Veterans Day Parade for the city of Poulsbo. And
that's incredible.
But it's also a testament to this community. That's Poulsbo. We made it happen, and guess what? We're going to do it again this year.
And when can we expect that parade?
November 9th.
One of the things that we're trying to do here, not just spotlight the amazing businesses that we have here and the people that run them, but also to find out what is most of interest to you that we can give back to the community in a charitable way. So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about who you've chosen for us to give back to?
I'm not going to choose a veterans-related thing. This time, my father, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. My father passed away December 6th. My wife was a memory care and dementia specialty nurse for several years. The local Alzheimer's Association chapter is who I would like to support.
So what we're going to do for the next month, and this is a busy guy, so for every haircut that Mike does for the next month, I'm going to be donating $1 in support of his organization that he has chosen.
I'll match every dollar that you donate. I'm gonna match $1 as well.
Well, this is a new development. Mike Perry, you guys, this guy is class act. He just said he's going to match my $1 for every haircut. It's all going back to Alzheimer's here in our community. Mike, I cannot thank you enough for taking this time with me. You are an absolute gem in our community. Like you said, unofficial mayor, but we all know you and we all love you. I highly recommend Mike Perry of Timeless Cuts in Poulsbo, Washington.
Yes.